Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to another Marathon Wednesday where we take on the big catalogues. We've got another request for today, and it is Ciccone Youth. A band that I'm not really into, I'm going to admit. I haven't heard too much of their stuff until I did this. It was a challenge. I like some of their stuff. You know, I've heard of them and I've heard some of their more popular stuff. But this was the first time that I've sat down and listened to all their albums. And I have included the EP, which is technically not their first album, but everyone says it's their first album. So we've got that in there, of course. I've included their album they did as a side project as well. How would you describe their music? Well, it's an experimental art wave. Not very conventional. Interesting, very unorthodox. A lot of off-key stuff, using all sorts of things on the guitars. Now, they were formed in 1981, and the sort of engine room of this band are Kim Gordon on bass, vocals and guitars, Thurston Moore on guitars and vocals, Lee Randello on vocals and guitars. They've had Steve Shelley on the drums for a little while, and Jim O'Rourke, that was sort of a member of the band that was with them from 1990 to 2005. I've had one or two drummers, but most of the band, it's Thurston Moore, Kim Gordon, Lee and Steve. 17 albums, so we'll get cracking. So coming in at number 17 is an album that was done by a thing called, they were called Ciccone Youth. Basically it's Ciccone Youth with a few other people there helping them, and this came out, unless I've still got the page up, I'll tell you when it came out. 1989 this one came out. It's also got the people from Minute Firehouse, Mike Watt and Jay Masochist of Dinosaur Jr. So this came, as I said, came out in 1989. Other people are on here as well. So the first track is called Needle Gun. Dirgy drums. There's nothing on here that really does anything. It's boring. That's the only one way to describe it. I find it very boring. Then we get Silence, and guess what? It's 1 minute and 3 seconds of nothing. G-Force is next. It's got some interesting spoken word from Kim. It's okay. Platoon 2, it's just what I call anaesthetic music. Run out of anaesthetic in the hospital, put this on, send you to sleep. Macbeth, the drumming's alright, but oh dear, the rest of it is just, seems like there's too many things going on and you can't pick anything out. Me and Jill, probably one of the better tracks on here. Some nice spoken word in this, and it probably is the better track off the album. Burning Up. Now this is the Madonna song, and this is the Mike Watt original demo. Dear. Thank God for Madonna, because this is not very good. Hi everybody. It's just everyone, hi, load of rubbish. 57 seconds of nothing really. Children of Satan, third fig. Yeah, I found it very hard to get through that one. Then we have Two Cool Chicks, listening to New, featuring Jay Masochist on guitar. A little bit weird. It looks like it's been recorded in a studio 6 miles away and they're standing there outside with a microphone. It's very irritating. Then they do a cover version of Robert Palmer's Addictive to Love. Very interesting interpretation, only the way that Ciccone Youth could do it. It's all right. Moby Dick, nothing to do with Led Zeppelin. It's just sci-fi sounds and irritable. Martyr the Ciccone Robots. No music, just loads of noise. Making the nature scene, irritating noises, drum machines done backwards. It's not very good. Tough titty rap, drum machine speeded up, few words, it's absolute garbage. Then when they got another cover version, this is Into the Groove, done by Madonna, of course. It just sounds like a punk version of it. What can I say about this album? Probably one of the hardest albums I've ever had to listen to. Will I be listening to it again? I don't think so. But I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 for that one track that sort of resembles music. Okay, coming in at number 16. We'll get to the second album from 1985. And it's called Bad Moon Rising. First thing is a little instrumental. And it's probably one of the nicest instrumentals I've heard. I thought, oh, this is good. I wonder if this is going to be a tone for the album. We'll find out now. So second track is a track called Brave Men Run, and in brackets, In My Family. The guitar has this sort of metallic sound, and it's a bit off key. Again, that's what they're known for, but it doesn't sound right. Society is in a hole. A bit dirgy, doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's quite long, and it reminds me of sitting on a roundabout and you want to get off, but it's going too fast to get off. That's one way of describing that song. I love her all the time. It's okay in places. It's got little bits on it. It's not too bad. I tolerated that one. It's quite interesting, that one. Ghost Bitch. It's not very comprehensible. I like my music to have a little bit of melody, and there's none in that. I'm Insane. It's okay. It's got a bit of a tune. The sound effects sort of spoil it a little bit. Justice Is Might. Yeah, just a load of noise. There's nothing there that really resembles a song. Death Valley 69. It's alright to a certain, and then Kim starts singing and it sounds like she's in a lot of pain. Yeah. Satan Is Boring. I'm sorry, it's just a load of noises. There's nothing musical about it. The Flower. Again, it's just too busy. Lots going on. You can't pick anything out. Halloween, I'd say it's the best of the worst on here. And Echo Canyon, it's just loads of noises and sounds. I don't get it. I know there's a lot of people out there that like this album. And if you like it, that's fine. But for me, it's got 1 or 2 highlights on there. But it's more sound bites. I know there's been experimental and alternative, but I just like my music to sound like music instead of just loads of noises. But I'll give it an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10 because it has 1 or 2 things on that, and I do like the intro. Okay then, coming in at number 15 is the debut album from 1983. And it is Confusion Is Sex. The drummer on this one is Jim Scalvanus, and Bob Burt do some drumming. Excuse me. First track on here is called She's an A, in brackets Bad Moon. I can see the concept behind this one, but it's just what spoils it is all them stupid noises. You don't need that. Just concentrate on the tune. Protect Me You. I get it. I do get it, but it's just not for me personally. Very clever what they were doing, but not for me. Then they do a Stooges cover of Freezer Burn and I Want to Be Your Dog. It's a little interpretation of a great song by the Stooges. It's okay. That's all I'll say about it. You know it's a Stooges song, but it's something. Shaking Hell. I like the drumming from Jim, quite good, but the rest of it's a little bit garbled for me. Inhuman. The highlight of this song is Kim's bass line. Absolutely killer bass line. I do like that. The World Looks Red. It's one of the better tracks. It's not brilliant, but it's still a lot better than a lot of them. Confusion is next. After 2 minutes, I just couldn't listen to it anymore. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get it. Making the nature scene, which has already been, they've done this on the previous, on that Whitey album. The drumming's, but this is a better version of it. The drumming's good in it. It's not. It's a lot better. Lee is free. It's still loads of noises. Once again, there's not much on here that really floats my boat. All I'll say is I think the demo EP was much better than this. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.3. Okay, coming in at number 14, we go to the 11th album now, from 2000. And it's NYC Ghosts and Flowers. This is a highly experimental album, and is considered to be a reaction to the threat of the band's instruments being nicked in 1999, with irreplaceable guitars and effects pedals were stolen. And it's the first album the band which used the prepared guitar. So the first track, yeah, strange. The first track is called Free City Rhymes. This one isn't too bad. It's quite melodic. I like the guitar in it. It's pretty good. Renegade Princess. Love this. My favourite track on this album, actually. It's very post-punk, and I really enjoy that one. That is one of them. Never mind. What was it anyway? One of the better ones. Little bit off-key in places, but this is. I gathered this is what this band was about, so I quite like that. It's different. Then we get Small Flowers, Crack, Concrete. Isn't too bad. Quite melodic for them. And then this is where it sort of starts going down the pan a bit. Side to Side, weird noises. Stream Time, Sonic, Subway. Interesting vocal from Thurston. It works. NYC Ghosts and Flowers, too long for me. It just goes around in circles. It's just loads of noises and a few stabs here and a few stabs there. Lightning, there's just no words of this. It's just noises and a bit of trumpet. I think the album starts well, and then it went down the hill like a cheese rolling down the hill. You've just seen that cheese rolling. It just rolls away. It's a good start, bad finish. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay then, coming in at number 13, we have the debut EP from 1982, and it's just called Ciccone Youth. So the first track on here is called The Burning Spear. Interesting track. I love the drumming on here, and I like Kim's bass line and her sort of unique way of singing. Yeah, not a bad little track actually. Then we have I Dreamed I Dream, dominated again by Kim's bass. It's okay. Yeah, I don't mind that one. I listened to that one and I've been back and listened to it again. She's Not Alone. It's all about the drumming on this. There's some great percussion on this. It's a quirky guitar that keeps coming in and out. Not a bad track either. Next track, I Don't Want to Push It. I love this, but halfway through, the guy that's doing all that sounds like the bongos seems to lose time with what he's doing, and you think, oh, it feels like he's struggling to get back, but he gets it back, which is good, and it's got a great bass line from Kim. The Good and the Bad, the last track, it's okay. It seems like it's about 5 ideas just glued together. It doesn't flow very well. But the individual little bits are pretty good. I don't mind that at all. As I said, I prefer this to the debut album. It's not a bad EP actually. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.6. Okay then, coming in at number 12. Go to 1994 now, and it's the experimental Jet Set, Trash and No Star, the 8th album. It's Thurston, Kim, Lee and Steve on this. First track is Winter Blues. Quite like this. It's an acoustic thing. It's quite good. I like the acoustics on here. Bull in the Heather. Now this is a track that really sort of I was questioning about Sonic Youth. They seem to be very talented musicians, but this off-key singing and playing, I think it spoils it. I know they want to be different. Everyone needs to be different, but they're such a good as musicians. I don't think they needed to do it. I mean, the bass line on this from Kim is brilliant, but it's the rest of it. It just off kilter. Starfield Road. Lots of feedback at the beginning of this. I like a bit of feedback, but there's too much. But this is very space rock. Reminds me of sort of Hawkwind and Chrome. Then we get a track called Skink. Very interesting track. Kim's vocals are pretty interesting. Then we have a track called Screaming Skull. It's alright. That's what I say about it. Self-Obsessed Sexy. One of the better songs. I love Thurston's vocals on this. It's pretty good. Then we have A Bone. I don't like this very much. The drumming's okay, but the rest of it is just noise. And then we got Androgynous Mind. I really struggled with that one. I just found it a little bizarre for me. Quest for the Cup. Nice tune. It's alright. Then we get my favourite one on here called Waste. Probably very post-punk. I like it when they do their post-punk songs. Doctor's Orders. Kim's bass line is good. Psychedelic. Pretty good. Tokyo Eye. Strange but likeable track. I like the whispering voice. It really works. Then we get In the Mind of Borgerous Reader. Very interesting. But a little tedious. Then we have this little hidden track called Sweet Shine. I think they should have just not bothered with it. It's horrible. This is one of them bands, I think, as I said on live stream when we were talking about them, you can only take so much of their stuff, and I do struggle with a lot of their stuff, but there's plenty on this that's worth listening to. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.7. Okay then, coming in at number 11, we go to the 10th album now from 1998, 1,000 Leads. So the first one is called Control the Sexism. Another of those bizarre tracks, lots of noise going on, some nice spoken word, but not very musical. Sunday. Great track. My favourite track on the album. I love Kim's bass line, and it's a great vocal from Thurston. Very, very good song. Like that one quite a lot. Female Mechanic Now on Duty. Lots of distortion. The vocal delivery is a bit ugh. Yeah, didn't like that one very much. Wildflower Soul. Horrible distortion at the beginning. Puts you off. The song's pretty good, but why all that horrible distortion? Then we have a thing called Hoarfrost. Very atmospheric. I do like the track. This track. Some nice guitar work in this one. Every time I see this, I laugh. French tickler. I love the opening riff. It's pretty good. It's a good vocal from Kim. I like that one a lot. Hits of Sunshine. This is for Allen Ginsberg. I like this track too. It's a little bit long though. 11 minutes is a little bit too long for this sort of band. more of a 6-minute song. Then we get Karen Coltrane. Again, it's a little bit too long, but it's not a bad song. Ineffable Me, everything's out of key and it sort of ruins it. Snare Girl, very dreary. Bit in the middle's good though, the atmospherics. Heather Angel, again it's just noises. Very cleverly put together, but just noises. Another mixed bag on here. I think some of the long songs are far too long. It's a shame because the structure of these longer songs are pretty good. They just needed to shorten it. But on the whole, you know, I did quite like this album in places. So I shall give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Need a drink. I'm suffering this morning, a bit bunged up. Right, coming in at number 10 then, we got the 9th album from 1995 and it's called Washing Machine. First track on here is called Because, and Because is spelled B-E-C-U-Z. It's got that distinctive Sonic Youth sound, a little bit off key, but yeah, it's okay. It's a pretty good track. Junkie's Promise, that high-pitched whistle feedback at the beginning, doesn't it really puts me off the track straight away, but the song itself is really good. Saucer-like. By the time I got round to listening to this album, I was starting to get the idea of this band, and it's okay. It's a little bit out of key, but this is what this band was all about, and this one isn't too bad. I like that. Then we get the title track, Washing Machine. Very strange track. Again, 9 minutes and 33 is a bit too long. And Mind. Now this is probably one of the most gentle songs I've heard by Sonic Youth. I like it. It's my favourite track on the album. Little Trouble Girl is next. I love the guitar work on here. And it's got a lovely eerie vocal from Kim. Really sets the track off. No Queen Blues. This is okay, even with the guitars out of tune a little bit. It's not too bad. Panty Lies, very quirk. Track, not too bad. Because Coda, very melodic, ambient. I do like that. Then we get Skip Tracer, very post-punk. I like this. Pretty good. Some nice little riffs on that. Good track. The Diamond Sea comes next. Oh dear. Unnecessary feedback here. Keeps it from being a half decent track actually. That's a shame. Here we have another mixed bag. I'm getting to the stage now where there's a lot of good tracks, but there's certainly a lot of tracks I didn't like. But I think this is just a common thing I think with this band, and it sort of has put what I think about Sonic Youth. They have some good tracks and there's some bad tracks. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.1. Okay, then coming in at number 9, we have the 5th album from 1988, and it's a double album, and it's called Daydream Nation. So the first track side of the first album is called Teenage Riot. It's a good track. It's quite a long track, but it's got a lot of structure in it. I do like that track. It's very, very good. Silver Rocket, one of these sort of post-punk tracks. Some great guitars on this. Like this track a lot. Then we get the Sprawl. It's quite long. It's 7 minutes long. There's a bit in the middle that needs to just be chopped away. But it's on the whole it's good. So the next track is called Cross the Breeze. This is 7 minutes. It's a longer track that works. It's got some gentle guitar, it's got some heavy guitar, and it's a well structured track. Some great guitar work from Thurston on that. Eric's Trip. Oh dear, not very good. Lots of noises. Didn't really need to be on the album in my books. Total Trash. Great bass line here from Kim, but that's the only thing I really like about it. Then we go to second album, Hey Johnny. The drums all too fast. Everyone seems to be trying to catch up. Providence. This is 2 minutes of a radio conversation or in a car radio in the police. Couldn't quite make that one out. Candle. Very melodic. I like Thurston's vocal on this. One of the better tracks. Rain King comes next. Total dirge in places. I just can't listen to songs like that. Then we go on to the final side 4, Kissability. It's not too bad, it's a good vocal from Kim, I do like that. Then we have this thing called Trilogy, which is obviously it's 3 tracks. The Wanderer, bit repetitive and irritable in places. Hyperstation said, not too bad. Eliminator Junior is just crash, bang, wallop. I'd say very ambitious for a band like this to put out a double album. Again, it's one of those, it's the same old story with double albums. Get rid of the rubbish, put it on one album, and you probably have a really good album. Same here. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.3. Okay, coming in at number 8, got the 4th album from 1987, Sister. This opens up with a great track, and it's called Schizophrenia. I like this track. It's some great guitar work. One of my favourite tracks actually by Ciccone Youth, and I've heard this before, so it's one track that I recognised. It's a really good track. I Got a Catholic Block. Horrible feedback at the beginning, but the rest of the song is okay. Pretty solid. Beauty Lies in the Eyes, another of those Kim vocals that's really good. It's atmospheric. Stereo Sanctity, not my cup of tea at all. Pipeline Kill Time, not very coherent, didn't like that at all. Tough Gnarl, very interesting. Yeah, very clever how they, I do respect them for what they're doing. They're very good at what they do, but I guess I said it's not for me. Pacific Coast Highway, quite chilled out for them. Some nice delicate touches on the guitar here. Very good. Then we get they do a cover of a crime track called Hot Wire My Heart. Very similar to the original. It's actually a pretty good version of it. Cotton Crown comes next. I like the guitars on this. I appreciate what they're doing on that. Very good. And then we have White Cross, very punky. This would have been alright in 1979. Absolutely brilliant track. Great vocal from Thurston. A very interesting album. It's got some pretty good stuff on here. It's not a bad listen actually. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 7. This was from 86, and it's their 3rd album, and it's called Evol. It was the first album that actually featured Steve Shelley, who had just replaced Bob Burt. So from 86 onwards, the band were the same all the way through. So the first track is called Tom Violence. Lot of atmosphere on there, some great guitar work on that. I love that track. Really do like that track. Shadow of Doubt, ambient guitars on. Steve's drumming's quite good on here. It's very, very good. Star Power. The drums are great. The guitars are great from Thurston. It's a really strong bass line from Kim as well. Excellent little track. In the Kingdom, number 19. For some reason, the drumming's okay, but the rest of it's just not very coherent. Green Light. Now, it feels like there's 2 tracks being played together at the same time. Now, what it reminds me of, now sometimes I've got something on YouTube playing on the YouTube, and I've got something playing somewhere else and I forget to switch it off, it just doesn't, oh, it gives you headaches. Not very good. I didn't like that one at all. Death to Our Friends, and very melodic track, but works. Very, very good track. Secret Girl, quite an emotional vocal here from Kim. Really nice. Marilyn Monroe. Oh dear. It's a bit of a dirge, and it sounds like your record player slowing down. Oh dear. Expressway to Your Skull. It's anaesthetic music. Boring. Pretty good tracks on this. I was quite impressed with a lot of these tracks, but there are some tracks here that do send you to sleep. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay then, coming in at number 6, we have their last album, released in 2009, and it's called The Internal. It was their 15th album, but because we've had the two Ciccone Youth and the EP, that's why we've got 17. So the first track on here is called Sacred Trickster. Really good. Great vocal from Kim. I really like that track. Anti-Orgasm comes next. A really good track. Some nice guitar work here from Thurston. Leaky Lifeboat. A really good track. I love that. Then we have A Tenor. My favourite track on here. Love the lyric. Love the guitars. Very quirky track. Very, very good. What We Know. Another good track. Great bass line from Kim. Great drumming from Steve. Really good. Calming the Snake. I'm not very keen on this one. I don't like Kim's vocal delivery, full stop. I think it's ugh. Poison Arrows. This is one of them songs. There's little bits on here I like. Malibu Gas Station. Really like that. Even the off-key guitar, it works, and I get it. Thunderclap for Bobby Prin. Very psychedelic sort of thing. I like this, but don't like the screeches on it at all. No way. Very post-punk. Great riffs. Like that one a lot. Then we get Walking Blue. Solid track. Some good sounds on here. Massage the History. One of the longer tracks. It's very good. I do like the middle bit. I love the gentle drumming on it. It's got some atmospheric, even some acoustic guitar. Very good track. Okay, I'll give this Sonic Youth their due. They did stick to their guns throughout their career. Didn't get caught in with the times. They set their statements, and I've got a lot of respect. And this is not a bad album to go out on, actually. I do like this album, and I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay then, coming in at number 5, we go to the 14th album from 2006. And it's the first album following the departure of Jim O'Rourke. And it's called Rather Ripped. So the first track on here is called Rena. Probably one of the most melodic tracks that this band ever did in their career. I really like that track. I've played it a few times. It's very good. Incinerate. Again, it's got a nice melody, nice guitar work. Very, very good track. Do You Believe in Rapture? One of my favourite tracks on this album. It's a really nice vocal from Thurston. Sleeping Around. Some great riffs in this. The guitar solo though is a little bit ear piercing, but it's still a reasonably good track. What a Waste. I love the guitar solo in this one. Absolutely brilliant. Jam's Run. Not a fan of this one. The vocals are a little bit off kilter. Then we have a track called Rats. Not very good at all. It's all over the place musically. Turquoise Boys. Too long. 6 minutes. Lots of sound effects. Just doesn't sound right. Lights Out. This is okay. Pretty good. The Neutral. It's got a sort of interesting riff and guitar solo on it. It's alright. Pink Stream's just a variation on the neutral. It's alright. Pretty good. And the last track, Or. Another thing I found out with Sonic Youth albums, the last track's usually noises and not a song. Pretty solid start. Again, another album that went down the hill. But there's more good tracks on here than bad tracks. So I shall give this one an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have the 6th album from 1990. And it's called Goo. First track on here is Dirty Boots. I'd say this is the most popular song, and it's the one that I really do like. I've always liked this, and the moment I heard it, it probably is my favourite Sonic Youth track ever. I just like it. It's just a very catchy song. Then we get Tunic, and in brackets, A Song for Karen. A good track. I do like Kim's vocal delivery, very echoey, which gives it a lot of atmosphere. Then we have Mary Christ. I love Steve's drumming on this. It's pretty good, really drives the song along. Cool Thing, it's okay. It's not brilliant, it's not bad, it's just okay. Moat, yeah, very solid song. I like the idea of that one. My Friend Goo, it's alright. It's got some nice quirky little bits in it. Disappear. Some nice guitar work on that one. I do like that one. Mildred Pierce. It's alright for about a minute and a half, and then it just goes into shouting and screaming distortion. And it sort of finishes it for me on that track. Cinderella's Big Score. Very good track. I like that one. Scooter and Jinx, just loads of slide guitar and noises. Titanium Expose. Yeah. On the whole, a very good album, but of course there's some really outrageous stuff on there for me. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay then, coming in at number 3, we've got the 13th album from 2004, and it's called Sonic Nurse. First track is Pattern Recognition. This is a track, the first 5 minutes are really good. You know, this is a really good song, and then they just go and spoil it at the end for a minute and a half of feedback. Why? That ruined a really good track. But I do like the majority of that track. Unmade Bed, a little bit different. I like the hollow sound on this. Nice guitar work and a nice vocal from Thurston. I do like that. Pretty good. Dripping Dream. I like this track. It's a long track, but it really works. Kim Gordon and the Arthur Doyle Hand Cream. Yes, interesting title. Very strange vocals on this, but it works. Gives it it's a nice little track that things. Stones. My favourite track. It's the longest, one of the longer tracks. I just love it. It's a good rocker. Nice guitar solo and a great vocal from Thurston. Really is good. Then we get Dude Ranch Nurse. It certainly keeps that alternative music, White's alternative, bit out of key in places, but it actually worked. New Hampshire, again some great driving riffs here from Thurston, good vocal as well, I like that. Paper Cup Exit, very good, a really good little track that one is. I Love You Golden Blue, a great vocal from Kim, probably one of her best. Really good track. Peace Attack, the last track. For once the drumming's is quite melodic, and it's probably one of the best end of album tracks from Sonic Youth. I actually really enjoyed this album. It's probably one of the first I really like all the tracks on it. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.4. Okay, coming in at number 2 then, it's the 7th album from 92 and it's called Dirty. First track is called 100%. It's got such a catchy riff. I like this one. It's very short, but it's good. Swimsuit Issue, very good track. Very post-punk. Great riffs in it. I love that track. Teresa's Sound World. Very melodic riffs in this. I love that bit in the middle. It's really groovy. My favourite track on the album. Drunken Butterfly. Kim's vocals great. Solid. Shoot. Great bass line here from Kim. One of her best. Wish Fulfillment. Driving riffs on this. Great drumming from Steve. A great vocal from Thurston. Sugarcane. My second favourite track on here. One of my favourite tracks by this band. It's just a strong track. Some great guitar work. Then we get Orange Rolls. Angels Spit. Starts off okay, and then the end bit just fades into some noise. A shame. Youth Against Fascism. One of the best bass lines from Kim. Absolutely drives the song along. Great drumming from Steve. Nice Vic Untouchables cover. This is not very good. I didn't like the original, and I don't like this song anyway. It's not very good. On the Strip, I love the beginning of this. The guitar's good, bass groovy. For them, it's really good. Chapel Hill, the bass line again, it's deeper. Really fits that song. JC. Yeah, the vocals a bit ugh. We've got Per. Solid. Creme Brulee. Yep, Sonic Youth didn't let me down on the last track. Pretty mediocre. Again, I like this album, although there's a couple that I don't, but I do like these tracks. Really, really strong album, and I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. So, my number 1 album. There's a lot of tracks I don't like. There's a lot on here that I did like, and my persona of this band has changed. But my favourite album is their 12th album from 2002, Murray Street. And it was the first album that featured Jim O'Rourke as the official 5th member to bolster the group's sound. So the first track on here is The Empty Page. Wow. Great bass line. The guitar sounds good. Really good track. Disconnection Notice. The drumming from Steve on this is really good. It's got some nice guitar work. It's got some nice ambient sounds on there, and it really gels that song. Rain on Tin. Great bass line from Kim. It's got some lovely tones. Fantastic little track. Karen Revisited. Now this is quite an epic. The only criticism I've got here is that middle bit seems pointless. Take it out and you've got an absolute killer track, but on the whole it is very, very good. Radical Adults Lick Godhead Style. Interesting. My favourite track though, the musicianship on here is fantastic. It shows what great musicians Sonic Youth are. For that, their genre, very, very good. Plastic Song, probably one of the weakest tracks on the album. The bass line's okay. The guitar, a little bit off. Sympathy for Strawberry. The last track. Interesting middle bit, it's quite hallucinating, as I'd put it. I quite like this. It's very cleverly put together. I really enjoyed this track because it just takes you on this sort of hallucinating journey. On the whole, this is a really good album. there's one or two bits I weren't too keen on, but the majority of the album is good. And it is one that I've played a few times now, and I really am getting into this album. So I shall give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, that's Sonic Youth. I've really enjoyed doing this and getting a little bit more into the band. But I think my thing is, I will always say, I don't like everything I ever did. There's some really good songs. There's some stuff I couldn't really get into and I couldn't see the point of. But I really enjoy doing this one. And keep them coming, as I say, with these. I'll get me out of my comfort zone. This was out of my comfort zone. Okay, that's all for today. We're back tomorrow, and we got the last battle of the debuts for a little while, and it's a viewer's pick, and it's been picked by Nick's Vinyl Buddy, and it's a great one, and it's 2 albums that came out exactly on the same day, and that's One Step Beyond by Madness and the Specials self-titled debut. Tomorrow's pick and mix, we're going to be mixing it up with a producer, and we're going to look at Alan Parsons. Now, if you didn't hear what I said on the live stream, I have discounted all his solo projects and the Alan Parsons project because we know how good that is. I've looked at all the other artists that he has worked with, because if I'd have put them in, it would have been dominated by Alan Parsons' project. So that's for tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.